Hi guys, welcome back to another day, another video. And in today's video, we'll talk about some companies जिसका result आया है. It's a lot of companies that are there, so I can't tell you like which company exactly. Okay. And if you want to know the names, make sure you check the description box below. Okay. So first company we'll talk about is these are the companies from last week. These three companies that I'll be discussing. The first one is Ultramarine and Pigments. ये जो है, they make this the chemicals that are required for your paint industry. They make this surfactants that is required by your home and healthcare industry that is there. Okay, इसका अगर आप देखते हो, it's nothing to be excited about, yeah, nothing to be sad about either. Sales is up by 14, PAT is up by 17. I mean, it's a good like it's a kind of company that's not really ambitious to do 20%, neither they are like like being poisonous and doing something like oh sales growth is just not at all there for that matter. So yeah, I mean meh kind of numbers you can tell. Then you have Supreme Industries. Supreme Industries जो है ये प्लास्टिक का प्रोडक्ट्स बनाता है, ठीक है, वेदर इट इज आपका प्लास्टिक का चेयर, आपका टॉयज में, ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स दे डू. इसका गाइडेंस था टू अचीव अराउंड 12,000 crore in revenue, which is roughly a 15% kind of growth compared to FY25. ठीक है, that is what they had targeted for, and they had also targeted a similar type in terms of volume growth also. But if you look at the Q1 का numbers, now Q1 का numbers are very disappointing because volume is up by 5%, sales is flat, and the PAT is down by 24%. Now you see here, right, although volumes is there, but you see that sales is not at all there. Why? Is because like we always tell, sales growth is a function of two things. One is your volume growth and the other one is your value growth. Now when you talk about the value growth over here, what has happened, although little bit volume growth था, but in value growth there has been a huge price erosion because यहाँ पे competition ज़्यादा है, and on top of that demand नहीं है, इतना supply है, so पूरा का पूरा price erosion हो गया है, which is the reason you see margins is down, right? Margins is down by a by a huge margin, and you'll also see that is the reason कि like PAT जो है is down by whooping 24%. This is a poison, I would say, because like I told you, the guidance is to do 12,000 crores in terms of revenue this year, which is a 15% growth. But looking at how Q1 has shaped up and looking at how the demand is looking for and the management commentary is there, it looks like they might actually underperform the guidance that has been given by them. Then we have V-Mart, right, which is a retail company that makes clothes, as you know. If you look at V-Mart, Bazaar Style Retail, and V2 Retail, they all operate in the same league. These people make clothes, like value brand आप बोल सकते हो. They make clothes, in value fashion category and focused mostly on T2, Tier 3 city, in that kind of cities. अगर आप देखते हो V-Mart का sales is up by 13% and SSG is मोटा मोटी flat. Again, it could have probably done 20%, in that range. Sales is up 13%, as you know, with other two companies, that is V2 Retail and if it is Bazaar Style Retail or Trend for that matter. A reason little bit in terms of hampering of SSG has been Eid, that is that Eid has been preponed. Usually Eid happens in Q1, this time Eid happened in Q4, so उसका effect SSG में पड़ा है, ठीक है, and थोड़ा सा V-Mart को sales में भी वो थोड़ा effect पड़ा है. But overall, one thing about V-Mart is when you compare it for the last 2 years, I mean when you compare it, there was a time where it didn't perform well because that pent up demand had gone away and sales was not at all there. Then or the sales were disappointing. Then we came across now the revival of demand is there and it has been doing consistently around 20%, right? So but unfortunately what has happened is like the 20%, when you look probably in an isolated level, it is great, but in the market it is all about relative performance. You have to see like if you are performing well compared to the other people or compared to the like if you are leading the race or not, that is also very imperative, right? And here if you see what has happened, although V2 Retail has performed well, it is just not good enough, right? You are good, but you're just not good enough because there are other two companies that are performing way better than you. And अगर आप देखते हो V2 Retail, it is like what 50% का growth engine है, around that rate. Bazaar Style Retail also it ranges somewhere between 30 to 40, it keeps changing depending on the quarter. But you see, right, there are other two players, even the second player is clocking a revenue growth of twice the growth rate as you. So that is the thing, more or less you can tell like school में अगर आप देखते हो, there has been a kid, वो शायद fail होता था and then after that now we're scoring 60%. So when you look at his performance only on his level, only at an individual level, he's done exceptionally well. जो fail होता था वो 60% करने लगा. But is he the best in the lot in the class? No, because there is always a topper in the class, जिसने 100 on 100 मारा है. So that is what I'm trying to convey. it is, I would say it is decent, but just not good enough considering there are other two players in the race which who have performed well. Okay, then you have eco, no, okay, not eco rico. Let's start with yeah, let's start with 20 microns that is there. 20 microns jo hai, again it's a poison company. Sales jo hai, it is grown by 7%. No information over here kya karta hai, kaise karta hai. I wouldn't want to play this. ACI also, I think this is more like a penny stock, you know. एक क्वार्टर होता है जहाँ पे ये 100% का ग्रोथ दिखाता है, ठीक है. ROE is negative, कुछ नहीं है कंपनी में, मतलब क्यों ये 100% से सेल्स ग्रोथ यू नो ऊपर हुआ, नो क्लू. अगले क्वार्टर शायद इसका 100% से सेल ग्रोथ गिरा हुआ है. This is that penny stock kind of, I would say. So this is shit, completely avoid this. Okay, Aeroflex बोल के कंपनी है जिसका सेल्स जो एक fell 6% because these people cater for export. Okay, and you know right कि like export में इतना सारा problems है and all of these things. Because of that इसका export का उतना कुछ like the order has been delayed, the buyer is not placing the order. That is why. But I will cover this Aeroflex again probably sometime over the weekend because Aeroflex is a company that I need to read a lot. I need the con call. I need to see what is the environment like and everything. Also on a product level, I need a little bit more understanding with respect to Aeroflex. Like I've actually, this is one of my friends used to hold this company and I used to always ignore tracking this because I was like, समझ में नहीं आ रहा है मुझे, like सर के ऊपर जा रहा है. But anyways, again, as of now, just looking at the growth rate numbers, it is poison. But I'll have to catch up with the con call and see what the direction of the company is looking like. Okay, next we have is Ashapuri Gold Ornaments, which posted, if you like, what does Ashapuri Gold Ornaments do? Ashapuri ka Gold Ornaments is, the business model is similar to Sky Gold. These people manufacture आपका jewelry, that is it. They're a pure B2B business. आपका जो भी है, whatever showrooms that are there, these people will manufacture and give you the jewelry. The only difference I would say with respect to Ashapuri and Sky Gold is Sky Gold literally works with corporates, huge corporates. In terms of order, they come and they give you the order like that. Versus with Ashapuri, it is like ये सब gold exhibition रहता है ना. These people go, they participate over there, they keep a line of their designs. वहाँ पे buyers आते हैं. Now the buyer could be Tanish, Kalyan, या probably someone from T2, T3 cities. They come, they look at the design, they like it, they place an order with these people, and then like it goes into manufacturing process, and then they deliver it and they get the cash. I would say that is mota moti a little bit difference, I would say, in terms of business model. And the second difference is the scale, right? Because if you look at Sky Gold is making how much? Almost this time they made 460 kgs per month. Next quarter in Q2 they will be touching around 530 kgs per month. Versus if you look at Ashapuri Gold Ornaments, they make 500 kgs a year. Sky Gold बना रहे 500 kg पर महीना, ये बना रहे 500 kg पूरा साल में. I hope you understand the difference in terms of the scale, what Sky Gold has to offer versus Ashapuri has to offer. Now when you look at over here, इनका guidance था to grow revenue by 50-55% for the full year FY25 versus FY26. And they had also told, because last time उनका, if you look at FY25 end, the capacity was, उनका actually capacity is 1 ton, but right now only they're using 500 kgs, and they wanted to increase the capacity by 50% and take it up to 750 kgs in this year, in the upcoming year. And उन्होंने बोला था शायद उनको 2-3 weeks लगेगा, because already it is there, all the thing is there, they just have to start with the production and everything. So that was the guidance given. Okay, now you think about it, if you are giving 50% in terms of revenue ka guidance, so that is roughly is saal mein you have to do around 474 crore in revenue. Okay, even if you consider H2 is greater than H1, you should at least be mota moti clocking 80 crore in revenue. ठीक है, I don't expect you to, I understand H2 is greater than H1, सारे orders आते हैं mostly in Q2 and Q3, but at least you should have done 80 crore. That's not a lot. And you just clocked 53 crore in Q1. Sales is up only by 19%. Yes, when you look at 19, it is great. But when you have given a guidance of 50-55% and up sirf karte ho, Q1 ka run rate is hardly 60 crore, not 60, 53 crore. 53 crore ka run rate hai. Sales grew by 19%. That I believe is a little bit, I somehow feel like shayad they might be lagging behind in terms of achieving that 50-55%, right? Thoda sa little bit, because of the guidance they had given, it is very disappointing, the numbers, I would say. Sales is up by 19%, PAT is up by 22. Agar aap EBITDA margin dekhte ho, EBITDA margin has improved from 8.4 to 9.4. ठीक है? Again, no update on capex. I don't know if these people will do con call this quarter or not. Agar that, like I told you, they had to increase the capacity by 50%. Don't know if it has been done or not. Kya scene hai? But even if I compare it now, because see, there are the other player over here is who is Sky Gold, right? Sky Gold इतना बड़ा बेस में वो 500 kg कर रहा है, वो उसने तो सेल्स ग्रोथ किया 50% का सेल्स ग्रोथ किया, और आप उसका भी छोटा से छोटा हो और आप सिर्फ 20% से ग्रो कर रहे हो, 50% एंड 20% का मतलब there is a huge difference. Why would somebody give Ashapuri bhav, right? If somebody has to give Ashapuri, little bit of bhav, then you should, the only way this Ashapuri will get attention from the shareholders is when it becomes a lucrative bet compared to Sky Gold. But you are no longer, I thought, when I heard the con call in Q4, I thought आगे जाके शायद Sky Gold का बहुत अच्छा टक्कर देगा, because Sky Gold का, if you had seen, the pace of growth will eventually come down because of the base, right? 50%, 34% in the upcoming year, and so, and this is also doing 50% का guidance दिया था. Sky Gold का भी last time का guidance 50 था, but Sky Gold was at a higher P, this is at a lower P, इसका base छोटा है. So I thought if these people can grow at the same rate ना, then इसका P rating हो सकता है compared to Sky Gold, right? Which no, it didn't grow. It just goes to show you कि like वो that execution capability that I really admire about Sky Gold is that something that I really I'm in awe, I would say, of the Chauhan brothers, the three brothers that are there. What a brilliant execution. Like, I have been with this company since it was a 400-500 crore ka market cap to right now where it is 5000 crore ka market cap. So what a brilliant execution I've seen. Whatever they whatever it is, every con call, whatever they came, they told, they have done it. Like, I speak basically, I think Sky Gold is a kind of management that has always walked the talk, I can tell. And brilliant execution, I can tell. Like, hats off to the execution. And this Ashapuri is nowhere near that, absolutely nowhere. I mean, if you really want the shareholders to give you little bhav, then that execution is needed, because the more you execute, trust आता है, trust के वजह से भी आपका P rating तो वहीं पे होता है. How can somebody rely when you tell 50 to 55% और आप 19% का growth करते हो? So इसलिए maybe also why was I telling कि like because ये लोग जो है, unlike Sky Gold makes this lightweight jewelry, right? They also have that. But Ashapuri, that is that they make this bridal jewelry. So I understand H2 is greater than H1, but by H2 में कितना आएगा? 60 to 70% ही आएगा ना. I mean, that is there. So at least you should be doing somewhere, I mean, 80 crore, 53 crore, I think Q1 का run rate is disappointing. ठीक है? Then we have so I would say, if I have to put it in that good, decent, poison shit, I would say it is decent. It is not good, it is decent, right? कुछ तो poison नहीं है, but decent, I would say. Then you have this Agritech बोल के company है, जो एक horticulture के लिए ये सब crops जो बनाता है. They have a huge network of farmers. Sales is up by 50%, but again, I believe this is also like another like penny stocks or so, because if you look at the other metrics, like, see, you can't just run behind sales growth. There has to be many other factors also supporting sales growth. I believe these kind of companies such as Agritech and ACI, एक क्वार्टर में अच्छा सेल्स ग्रोथ करता है, फिर दूसरे क्वार्टर में there is no sales growth. I mean, all of these companies जिसका ROE नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, balance sheet is like, you can't even trust the balance sheet probably, so that is the thing. But anyways, the next we will be talking about is APL Apollo Tubes. As you know, these people make आपका ये जो स्टील का ट्यूब्स है, स्टील का पाइप्स है, विच इज यूज्ड इन आपका एयरपोर्ट्स का बड़ा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में, बिल्डिंग्स में यूज होता है, राइट? दिस पीपल मेक दैट. नाउ इनका भी यही है, इनका भी गाइडेंस जो था, राइट? दे हैड गाइडेड फॉर अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग सेट ऑफ नंबर्स, आप बोल सकते हो, बट दे मिस्ड आउट ऑन द गाइडेंस अ लिटिल बिट. जस्ट टू गिव यू फर्स्ट इन टर्म्स, लेट मी टॉक अबाउट द Q1 FY26 numbers. Sales is up by 4%, PAT is up by 22%. अगर आप वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ देखते हो, वॉल्यूम इज अप by 10%. नाउ उनका भी यही कहना है कि लाइक जो वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ है, दैट वी कुड हैव डन 5% मोर. वी इवन इफ यू लुक एट द मैनेजमेंट का प्रेस रिलीज, मैनेजमेंट ही बोल रहे हैं कि लाइक, भाई, वी आर ओनली डिसअपॉइंटेड विद आवर नंबर्स. आप क्या बोलोगे? आप क्या हमें क्रिटिसाइज करोगे? वी आर ओनली डिसअपॉइंटेड विद द नंबर्स, वी कुड हैव डन बेटर. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली विद दिस कंपनी देयर वेर मेनी challenges that is there. The first thing is, overall, if you see, there has been a slowdown in the month of April and May in terms of macro development, right? Like, it has been softer side, वो बोल रहे हैं. The second thing is, ये सब इंडिया पाकिस्तान के वॉर के वजह से, ये सब इजराइल ईरान का कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हुआ and everything, right? So because of which the exports that is there with respect to Middle East का region, that got affected for them. Third is, this time we had early monsoons, right? We started having rainy seasons in the month of April, right? Which affected the construction work, which affected आपका orders. The other thing is यहाँ पे liquidity crunch. branch, because आपका जो these people work with channel partners, the channel partners work with EPC. Now जब EPC का उतना सारा problem चल रहा है, they are not releasing the money to the channel partners. The channel partners will not go place an order with APL Apollo Tubes, right? So ये सब चारों का चारों problems ना एक ही साथ में attack मारते APL Apollo Tubes को at once. Okay, so as a result of it, इनका that sales growth didn't happen. Although if you look at it, the value added product that is there, that contribution is 61%, they still didn't have it, right? Like that is what it is. And वो भी उनका यही बोलना है कि like आगे जाके we will be targeting a this value product that is there, value added product, we will target it from 61 to 75%. And as a company we would rather focus on protecting a margin than volume growth. कि like I would rather focus a certain amount of EBITDA per ton rather than focusing on volumes and sacrificing it. I mean, it is totally not worth the game, because agar मैं वो खेलूंगा, there is no survival in this industry. But overall you can tell, yes, the result is not really exciting. I mean, I do not know um, what to put of these numbers, whether it should be decent or poison, because the company is hoping to bounce back in FY20, I mean in H2. But again, that's something we can't tell na, शायद ये demand कब वापस आ जाए कभी ना आए, that is something that is not there. So you tell me, how would you classify APL Apollo Tubes, right? Like, is it good or bad? Anyways, after that, if you see, we have the next company that is there is Arvind Fashions बोल के है. Arvind Fashions अगर आप देखते हो, these people make this fabrics, yarns and cloth and everything. Along with that, they have their own brands, right? They have their own brands such as Flying Machine, Newport बोल के, and they also they have the license to set up the stores and trade with foreign brands such as US Polo, Calvin Klein, आपका Tommy Hilfiger, Tommy Hilfiger का कपड़ा and Arrow. इसका sales is decent. They had guided for 16%, किया भी उतना 16%. SSG is up by 8%. One thing that is good is these people are going across the channels. They were first focused only on retail. Now retail, Q-commerce, everywhere they're trying to target, which is helping them sustain. But overall, again, nothing exciting, but also at the same time nothing terrible. It is, I would say, decent set of numbers, I would say, with Arvind Fashion. Okay, then after that we have what is this other company that we have? Yeah, we have Eco Rico बोल के है, which is eco recycling का एक company है. Now Eco Rico का अगर आप देखते हो, what exactly they do is they recycle this आपका दो electronic items that is there. Now how does this happen? These people collect, they source this आपका laptops, phones, headphones, which has been discarded, this e-waste, they procure it from homes, they procure it from offices, wherever it is they procure it from. Once they procure, they get it to their facility and they start to sort and segregate. They sort as to like something that can be used further, it can be recycled and it could be of some purpose, or something that can be like completely thrown out. Once it is done, they dismantle it, they recycle it. After that, it is it goes into making a new product, which where they sell it. If it is not, then they will, if it is a hazardous material, they will chuck it away, right? So basically like recycling companies specifically with respect to electronics. Okay, now यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, इको रिको का अगर आप देखते हो, sales is down by a whooping 18%. 18% से sales गिरा है. PAT जो है, इस PAT is completely flat. Okay, now अगर if you look at it, the total revenue that is there, okay, मतलब you will see that the income has increased, but you can't really consider it because इसका main operations जो है, it comes by recycling, collecting and recycling करना. That is where the main revenue comes. They have another part of revenue. Okay, as you know, with all the recycling companies, even if it is Tina Rubber or so, all these recycling companies, because they're doing such good work now, government is giving them something called as credit, EPR credit बोल के. So basically आप इतना, अगर आप इतना kgs, इतना units आप recycling करते हो, you will get so much amount in terms of cash. Okay, so इस EPR credits के वजह से they made 4 crores in this quarter. In Q1 of last year it was 2 crore. In Q1 of this year it is 4 crore. So because that EPR credit is involved, you will see that the total revenue that is there थोड़ा सा upside है, because total revenue sales plus other income, but the core operations degrew by 18%. Now similarly, even in terms of PAT also, if probably that other income didn't get added to the bottom line, then the PAT would have also degrown by a huge margin यहाँ पे, ठीक है, because only because of that other income PAT अभी flat दिख रहा है, वरना PAT would be down 8 crore था last time, अभी 6 crore होता. So you do the math, right? Like 2 divided by 1/4. one fourth, that is 25% से PAT would be down today for Q1. So roughly it is that only. It is only because of that other income, PAT is not there. Now here is the thing, क्यों ये हुआ, sales गिरा? No clue, because there was a time when this company was doing 60, 80, I think एक quarter में उसने 111% का भी growth किया था. At that time these people, were doing con call, very confident in the con call, and then came in the last 2 quarters, कि like इनका जो sales growth है, pace of growth started coming down. 30 करने लगा, फिर 20, अभी तो सेल्स जो गिरा है -18%, मतलब and the last 2 quarters since the pace of growth came down, they're not doing con call. So again, no clue as to like why they're doing what has happened. No clue. Will it get better? Is it some sort of one time impact that we are seeing? No, again, no clue. Another thing, I think this reminds me of a good example over here is, you people tell me like, oh, like, whenever I talk about pace of growth, come hua hai and everything, a lot of you come on to me on the comment section and are like, oh, no company can grow at 100% growth rate and blah blah blah. Like, bro, yes, no company can grow at 100% growth rate. It is impossible. There will come a time when the pace of growth comes down. But आपको क्या फर्क पड़ता है? You're a shareholder. You're not the company का founder, ना. That is the difference between company ka founder, company ka employees, company ka stakeholders versus you as a retail shareholder being on the outside at the end of the day. If you are a company ka owner, let's say with my business, I have to stick with my business whether it is up, down, up, down. It's my duty to stick over here. As an investor, your duty is, you are an opportunistic. That's it. That's all that it is there. And you're here to make money, right? Now think about this. जब ये पहला pace of growth घटा था, you could have taken your money out, and then second time again, see, nobody is expecting you कि like, जब pace of growth कम होता है, to take complete money and get out, because there is also that another 50% possibility or probability कि like, वो जो pace of growth है आगे जाके हो सकता है. But at least better to be safe than sorry. Now you people tell, I mean, what kind of arrogance do you have over here telling कि like, अरे मतलब ये, ये 50% से ये 100% हुआ, अभी 50% है, like it will continue to grow, it is still a good. I mean ultimately it is your hard earned money, guys. I mean कोई जो भी बोलो, अपना बच्चा है, अपना वाइफ है, अपना फैमिली है, right? So why would you want to throw your hard earned money down the drain? I just don't understand. कहाँ से ये confidence आता है एक थर्ड पार्टी को जिसको आपने कभी नहीं मिला, you do not anything, दो डॉक्यूमेंट पढ़ के इस थर्ड पार्टी पर्सन पे आपको इतना ट्रस्ट हो रहा है? I don't understand. So that is a thing I tell. वो pace of growth 100 से 50 होता है, या 50 से 2% होता है, या 70 से 35 होता है, it doesn't matter. Take some money out of the table when the pace of growth is coming down. ये इतना I mean I don't think people realize this. Some people call me and Rajarshi arrogant, but I think the people who are arrogant are these people who continue to defend the company when they're not even running the company. Forget about running the company, bro. Like, I mean, मैं तो बोल रही हूँ protect the money. The people are telling like नहीं, I'll keep my money, it will continue. Who's arrogant over here? I just don't understand. But वही यहाँ पे वही बोलने का कोशिश कर रही हूँ कि like when the pace of growth comes down, you do not know if it will come back up or not. Take the money out of the table little by little by little, at least, and protect yourself. It is, I always tell, it is better to save, be safe than sorry. That is my funda always, ठीक है? Because जो भी बोलो पैसा पैसा है भाई, be safe than sorry. I mean, I would rather make, I would rather buy a stock that is, like 30% upside and be sure than like, be in such kind of situation. Because jo bhi bolo, let's say you might have bought that that stock, you might have made 100% gain, I made 70%. Kya farak padta hai? At least I know I made money. At least I know I didn't lose money. That is more important over here. So that is the thing. Iska pace of growth घटा है. But उनका in the last 3 months, that is between Q4 to Q1, उनका एक capex हुआ था, ठीक है? They had increased the facility by 18,000 metric tons in their existing capacity, and एक lithium ion का एक separate facility डाला था, which was 6,000 metric tons per annum. Again, no update on this कि like, has this been commissioned? What is the capacity utilization like? Has there been, because ये capacity का addition कर रहा था, has there been a little bit of, कि like, शायद थोड़ा, some days the plant was stopped, because of this, ये brownfield कर रहा था, कुछ maintenance करके debottlenecking कर रहा था. I don't know, maybe because of that इसका 18% से sale गिरा. Again, do not know if it is a one time thing or क्या, but overall, I mean, the last, if I just look at the trend, ये 14, क्या बोलते हैं, ये 100% से 34, 21, and now negative degrowth in sales. And for me, the most disappointing thing over here, I'll tell you, is the fact that these people stop doing con calls. Like, I really don't like companies जो अच्छा टाइम होता है कौन कॉल करता है, बुरा टाइम होता है हाथ हाथ उठा के then they stop interacting with the shareholders. I have lot of respect for Relaxo का management that way. But anyways, that's that about all these companies. और भी companies है, as you can see ये list है, और भी ज़्यादा companies है करना है, but yeah, I've made 3 videos today. Let me see, probably I'll make some make another video covering all this. Anyways, that's it guys, take care, bye.